folks, let's get outside with Henry. Today we're in B.A.S.S Springs, and we're going to do a little flipping with a local pro named Alan Kelly.
Alright, you have some questions for me there, Henry?
Yes, as a matter of fact I do, sir.
Alright.
First one is, how do you find fish in a new lake?
In a new lake, what I try to do first, because I do fish a lot of lakes that I've never been to before, with, when I fish the Bassmaster Opens and some of that stuff, and some of the regionals and nationals are usually out of state somewhere where I've never been. So what I do first is I'll get out, I'll get me a map of that lake, that has all the contours, topographical map that shows me the depths, and it shows you different stuff where rocks and gravel and things like that are, and I'll do my map study with that first. And I'm looking for certain things when I do my map study. I'm looking for places where you have a channel swing that comes into, depending on what time of year it is, if I'm looking for flats, or if I'm thinking that the fish are going to be on more vertical type drops, around ledges, things like that. So I find those areas, but what I like to do is find something that has a channel swing next to it. And the reason I like to do that is because fish use those river and creek channels and stuff like that, just like we use highways and back roads in and out of different places. And so they're going to travel along those roads, and then they have a destination that they're going to, and then they have stop-off rest places if they stop along the way. But if you have a channel swing coming into a good area, then it's probably going to reload with fish. So say I have a multiple day tournament, and I go and catch a limit of fish there one day, I want to know it's the kind of place I can go back to the next day and catch another limit of fish. So that's where those channel swings help, because it's probably going to reload with fresh fish the next day. Then what I do after I kind of figure out the places I want to look at on the map like that, I'll go on the computer and I'll go to Google Earth, and I'll get the satellite photographs from Google Earth. And that shows me actual pictures of the lake from satellites. And you can zoom way down to it to find out where the rocks are, where the trees are, if there's docks in those areas and things like that. And then I can get a combination of what the depth level, whether it's rock or gravel or mud, and I can see if there's docks, and so then I have a full picture of everything in that area, and it helps me decide where I'm going to fish. And then what I try to do is not listen to what everybody else says I got to do. I try to figure out, okay, what's my strong point? A jig's one of my strong points, crankbait's one of my strong points, shaky head's one of my strong points. So I want to find areas on that lake that I can fish my favorite ways to fish, so that I have the most confidence whenever I throw those baits. If everybody says, oh, you got to throw a jerk bait on main lake points, that doesn't mean that's how I'm going to fish necessarily. I'm going to find something that fits me so that I can fish the way I like to fish, and then I'm going to make it happen that way. Does that help? That answer your question pretty good? Yes. All right. What else you want to know?
Next question. What do you do when the fish
when it gets tough? I usually just break a rod over my knee, and then I have a little fit, and then I just leave. I just give up.
Really?
Well, pretty much. No, I never give up. No, what I do when the fishing gets tough is, one, sometimes I'll pull out into the lake and I'll just stop, and I'll sit there and I'll kind of gather myself, and then I'll think about it for a minute, and I'll think, okay, when I was preparing for this tournament, when I was doing my map study, when I was deciding what kind of baits I wanted to use, I had a reason for doing those things, okay? So I have to stop and think, is the way that I'm trying to fish today, is this really practical? Am I trying to force feed something that's not going to work, or do I need to change my tactics? Do I need to figure out something new? So I'll sit and think about it for a few minutes, and I'll look at my maps, and I'll kind of refresh my memory on what I looked at like the week before when I got there or something, because maybe when you're rushing around, you forget certain things. So I'll go over my checklist and see if I'm doing everything I think I should be doing. And then the main thing that I do when it's really tough is I slow down. I go real slow. Because sometimes, you can be, like, I'll flip a jig out here, and maybe I think I'm working that jig pretty slow. But if I'm not getting bit on it, there's got to be a reason.
You got to leave that in there.
And a lot of times, that reason might be that I'm going too fast, or faster than I think I actually am. Like when I'm fishing crankbaits, that's one reason that I use a slow gear ratio reel, like a 5/4 to 1 on my loose reel, because at the end of the day, sometimes I get to going too fast, or if I get frustrated because the fish aren't biting, I get to going too fast. And so to help me slow down, that slow reel makes my crankbaits go slower. Even if I get excited and go fast, it'll still make those crankbaits go slow. If I'm dragging that jig and I'm hopping that jig, then I might just have to remind myself to just let it set. Just soak it for, you know, about a minute or so, and then maybe shake it a little bit and let it set for another minute. I do little things like that, little exercises to make me slow down. And 9 times out of 10, if I slow down like that, then I can concentrate on each cast one at a time instead of thinking about 100 yards up the lake, and then I usually do better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, what else?
What is your favorite way to fish?
My favorite way to fish, as far as technique or type of lure? Both. Probably my favorite way to catch fish would be on a jig. Okay, and this is actually a jig that I made last Friday night after practicing in Lake of the Ozarks for that tournament. The tournament was on Saturday. I sat down in my motel room and I thought, you know, I don't have any jigs that I think are perfect for tomorrow, so I made 4 of these jigs just like this. And when I had my limit, it came time to cull. That's when I caught my culling fish. My biggest fish on was this jig, the one I made the night before. So jigs.
Head and everything?
No, I get the lead heads already set up, and then I've got a do it skirt kit that I make the skirts for, and I make, you know, so I put the skirt together myself. But a jig is probably my favorite way to fish and catch fish, and I'd say next to that would be crankbaits and topwaters. I love getting a topwater bite.
I do too.
And I love catching a fish on a crankbait. But if it came down to it, a jig is probably my overall favorite way of catching fish.
My mom made this skirt before.
Did she? Well, good. See, I like to have a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue, a little bit of chartreuse. Those are some pretty good color combinations that you can have in there that, you know, to me, if you're fishing lightly stained water, like Lake of the Ozarks, Grand Lake, some of the areas in Table Rock where you got a lot of clear water on the main lake, but it's a little stained in the back, I like to have those colors. They seem to work the best in those situations. All right.
And my other question was, do you get nervous before a tournament?
Yeah, I don't get like jittery nervous.
Yeah,
but it's like, you know, I was a professional fighter for over 20 years, and you know, I played football and everything like that, and you get psyched up and you get all excited for an event, and it causes what we call butterflies. You know what I'm talking about? Butterflies in your belly before you do a sporting event. You start to feel kind of queasy and, you know, stuff like that. So I get a little butterflies, but I try to take that and I try to turn that around into a positive thing. I just really try to focus hard. And I use it for excitement, man, because if I can get excited and get jacked up and get pumped up and get my head right and get focused on what I'm doing, I'm going to do better. So I try to use that excitement and that nervousness in a positive way. But everybody gets a little excited and a little nervous before they do something that they really like, especially if it's competition, you know, because I have to compete. Just like you put that in there, don't move it. Now I'm going to have to put it in there because I'm a real competitive guy. So I'm going to have to flip it right into the same bowl. Stay right there. I'm going to come right there in there with you. See, I couldn't stand for somebody to give up on me, so I didn't come in there.
I've got 5 in a row.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay, count of 3. We're both getting H now. 1, 2, 3. I win. Okay, alright, did you finish?
Yeah, I'm finished.
The next one is a question. Thank you for answering all my questions.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming and hanging out the boat with me again this year. This is 2 years in a row now, isn't it? That you've been here for the annual anniversary sale here at First Class Cars. So we're the dog and pony show here at the main intersection in Excelsior Springs. You know, we're like dancing bears, you know. It attracts attention, and everybody comes along to check it out. They don't know what's going on. We drew attention to the car lot for the sale. We had people come in the boat and talk fishing and flip the rod a couple minutes. Then we took them over there and we sold them a truck. So everything happened according to plan, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Can't beat a deal like that. It's just fun. All right, brother.
And would you like to thank any other?
Would I like to thank anyone?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming out 2 years in a row and for putting out good videos on YouTube and stuff like that. But I want to thank all my sponsors, of course, you know, because I've got guys that have helped me out a whole lot since I started doing this. Millennium Lures was my first sponsor. It's a good buddy of mine named Donnie Fry in Wagner, Oklahoma, and he's helped me with so many things over the years. Affordable Automotive and Affordable Upholstery put all new carpet upholstery in my boat a few years ago, and they've helped me with that motor when I blew my motor last year. Rattle Trap's been a great sponsor for me. Let's see, Rogers Sporting Goods has helped me out a whole bunch. A&M Baits has probably been one of my best sponsors when it comes to baits and plastics over the years and stuff. Gamakatsu's helped me out with my hooks and everything a lot. Oh gosh, who else are we thinking about? Amsoil, I can't forget Amsoil. They provided all the fluids from the tip of my truck to the tail of my boat. You know, everything from axle grease on my trailer to lower unit grease in my motor and motor oil in my truck. I mean, they've just taken good care of me. I had a chiropractor as a sponsor who took good care of me. First class cars that make great deals on my trucks and stuff for me. I mean, how could a guy go wrong with sponsors like that? You know, that's a pretty good deal, huh? So I want to say thank you to all those people because they've just really taken good care of me. What about you?
I got Red Shed Soap Co., which is my mom's.
Okay.
And Moman Plastic Baits Lures.
Okay.
That's real good. They have good.
Right.
That's all the sponsors I have.
That's all the sponsors?
2.
Well, I'll tell you what, how old are you?
9.
9? I don't know too many 9-year-olds that even have any sponsors at all, so I'd say you're probably got a leg up on the industry there so far, don't you?
Yes.
You think we need to put in a call to KVD and tell him to be watching out for the next few years here, probably in about 10 years? Might be kind of breathing down his throat?
Maybe.
Maybe? That's what I think. All right, brother, are we done?
Yeah, I think we're
Ready to
done.
get out of this cold rain, go somewhere warm, get something to eat?
Yeah, that's where we're
All right,
going
give me a high
next.
five, brother. Thanks for coming out today, Henry. We'll see you on YouTube.
Alrighty.
Might even see you on kicksbass.com, you never know.
Thank you. Well, folks, we done some flipping with Al Kelly, local pro. We learned a bunch of tips today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Get outside. Catch you later.